tomorrow, right? Aurora Dimopoulos will be on Zoom live. You can actually join tomorrow at 3 o'clock. And basically, this is her, sorry, that's her profile. Okay. So you can join tomorrow at 3, and Barbara Mbanefo will be on Saturday at 10, and that is her profile, right? Basically, she deals with iOS, well, that's Apple, etc., etc. So please make sure that you actually log in, join the meeting, and you could actually ask her a whole bunch of questions, right? With regards to programming, IT, all of that. Okay. Today, yesterday, we were looking at the if, the elif, the else if, the else, the and. We did not look at the or, and we looked at the in. Remember that? That was the membership, right? We are going to continue with that with the and. So, sorry. So let's look at this question over here. We are reading in 3 values, 3 integer values, and we need to determine an output, the 3 values in descending order. That means from largest to smallest. Now, what you need to understand is this here. Right, we'll just go look at the comments over here. Let's assume I have 3 variables. We're obviously not going to be calling it A, B, and C, but we'll just look at A, B, and C now, right? If we have 3 numbers, A, B, and C, we need to display that in descending order. So we obviously need to use and determine an output, the 3 values in descending order. That's from largest to smallest. So if we have 3 values, A, B, and C, assuming that those represent the values that we input, we need to determine A, B, and C from highest to lowest, from the largest to the smallest. So we need to basically compare A and B and C. So we need to check, firstly, now there are 3 numbers, guys. So these 3 numbers, right, we need to be able to check if A is greater than B, all right? If A is greater than B and B is greater than C, right? So just look at this. I'm just going to look at some numbers, right? Let's assume I had 7, 4, and 2. Is 7 greater than 4 and is 4 greater than 2? So that would be in that order. We'll have to display it as A and B and C, right? Now, this is if A is greater than B. If A is not greater than B, that means B is greater than A, right? So this other statement, now B, if B is greater than A, and now B is greater than A, so we'll check now, if A is greater than C. I want you to look at this over here. If A is greater than B, that obviously, and B is greater than C, it means that A is also greater than C. So if B is greater than A, and A is greater than C, so we'll output B, A, C. Now, if A is not greater than B, and B is not greater than A, so obviously we have to look at other options, right? Now, if we look at this over here, if C is greater than A, and C is greater than A, and A is greater than C. Sorry, A is greater than B. If C is greater than A, and A is greater than B, we'll output C, A, B. Now, if C is not greater than A, it means that A is greater than C, and we're checking if C is greater than B. So we'll output A, C, B. Now, I want you to look at these 3 variables, right? If we look at the three variables, which possible ways could we display it? We could display it as ABC. We could display it as ACB, right? That's A in the front, and it could be BC or CB. Now I want you to look at the next two. Okay, we could output BAC or BCA. Do you follow that? And then lastly, sorry, CAB and CBA. So we have 6 possible differences. So let's look at this first part here. Okay, firstly, we need to, oh, come on. Right, firstly, we need to, I'm just gonna, here, and we are looking at, okay, so we got input, and we need to input 3 numbers, right? I'm going to use A, B, and C. Remember, our variables are supposed to be meaningful, but we'll just use A, B, and C just to make it a little bit easier today. So that will be int. Remember, we're casting our input, which is inputting as a string, right? And we're going to say enter first number. That will be the first number. And then we're going to go B is assigned int. Once again, input enter second number, right? Then lastly, we have C is assigned int input enter third number, right? So that's getting us our 3 numbers. Now we need to look at the actual processing. Now under processing, remember, I'm going to have my messages assigned an empty string. Okay. Now we need to go and check if A is greater than B. Now remember that we are using and. We need to check 2 conditions here, guys, right? We need to check 2 conditions. Firstly, if A is greater than B and B is greater than C. So let's check it out. If A is greater than B and B is greater than C. Now remember, with the and, all conditions must be true. Now if that is correct, if A is greater than B and B is greater than C, then message is assigned str A plus right plus str B plus str C. All right, now if A is greater than B and B is greater than C, then now I want you to look at this over here. How many possibilities do we have here? We've got 6 possibilities. So if A is not greater than B, now I need to check the next one, right? Okay, now remember, right? Remember that we can use the Elif, but I'm not going to use that right now. We'll come back and we'll look at how we would use the Elif, right? So we're going to come here and say if B is greater than A and A is greater than C, then well, what are the values going to be? It's going to be BAC, right? So message is assigned strB plus str A plus str So this will either output ABC or it will output BAC, right? ABC or BAC. So I'm just going to put an asterisk next to this over here to say that we took these two conditions into account. Right. Now, what's the next one? We're going to check, right, if, oh, sorry, if A is greater than C and C is greater than B. That means we're going to output ACB. So, which is assigned str A plus str C plus str B. Now, let's go and look at which one we took into account. So that's ACB. We did that condition. Okay. Now we need to check BCA, right? So now we need to check BCA. So that will be if B is greater than C and B is greater than, sorry, and C is greater than A. So we're going to output BCA. I'm actually just going to do this here very quickly, guys, because we dealt with A. Let's put that there. And we dealt with that there. Let's take that out from there and put it here. Right. Okay. Should we do that? Yeah. All right. So here, right, we're going to go with message is assigned str B plus str C plus str A. So that is BCA. So which condition did we take into account over there? BCA. We did that one. Notice that I actually typed this out over here so that I can see that I'm taking everything into account. Now we need to check CAB. So we checked if A is greater than B, A is greater than C, B is greater than A, B is greater than C. Now we're going to check if C is the largest parameter, right? So if C is greater than A and A is greater than B, then message is assigned str. Now C will come first, plus str A plus str B. Okay. Now if C is greater than A, so we did that one, CAB, and the last one, CBA. So we're going to check if C is greater than B and B is greater than A, then is assigned strc plus strb plus str A. And we took that into account. Now, you do need to understand it was three variables, guys. Three variables. So we needed to actually take all of those conditions into account. These are the 6 possible ways we could be outputting a number. Now, let's go and run it and check some test values. All right. So, okay. Taking a bit of time. Okay. All right. Let's assume I'm going to enter 6, 1, 9. Oh, 6, 1, and 9. What should it output? We said in descending order, so it should be 9, 6, 1. Yes? What happened, guys? Once again, what did I not put here? My output statement. Okay. All right. So I said 6, 1, and 9. It should output 9, 6, 1. Right? Let's try a different combination. Right? Let's go and put 1, 9, 6. 9, 6, 1. Okay? And one more time. If I go and enter 9, 1, 6, and it's still going to be outputting it in descending order 9, 6, and 1. Okay, now this is not the best possible answer, just remember that. This is not the best possible answer. Okay, now how would we modify this? Now I'm going to make this a comment, right? I'm going to make this a comment because we're going to look at the best possible way, the most efficient solution we're going to use. Now, I am going to copy this, right? And I'm going to paste it here because I'm going to modify this. Now, if this is true, it must come here and it must ignore the rest. The way the program is written right now, it's going to be checking each if statement, whether even if this is true, it's still going to go and check all the others, which is unnecessary processing. So what do? We're going to make this Elif. Okay. We make that Elif. Else if. So if that is false, it's going to come here. If this is false, it's going to come there. If that is false, it's going to come there. If that is false, it's going to come there. And this, guys, are you guys watching? If this is false, and that is false, and that is false, and that is false, and that is false, it means none of that is true. That means this has to be true, which means I don't need an if statement over here. I just going to make it an else. Can you follow that, guys? So if this is false, it's going to come here. If this is true, it will ignore the rest. Right? So let's run this and see if it gives us the same output. Okay, I said initially 6, 1, and 9, 9, 6, 1. Okay, let's go and run that again. I'm going to enter 1, 9, and 6, 9, 6, 1. And one more time. If I entered 9, 1, and 6, it's still going to give me 9, 6, 1. So you'll notice that between these two solutions, guys, between these two solutions, that works, right? All of this works. And this also works, but this is a better solution, right? So you need to understand that if none of these conditions are true, then that is definitely going to be true. Okay, now, just to show you something, see, this is the else part. Remember yesterday I showed you how we can actually get rid of the else part. Okay, we can get rid of the else part. See this else part here, guys? We can get rid of that else part. Okay, so just going to type here second solution because I'm making that a comment. Okay. And I'm going to show you now. I'm going to copy that again. I'm going to come here. I'm going to paste it. See this else part, guys? I'm going to take it out from you. And you see right here, I'm going to assume that it's going to be CBA. It's going to be CBA. We don't need the else part. So we assume something right at the beginning. And only if any of these are true, then only will the message change. So once again, 6, 1, 9, 9, 6, 1. What was it? CBA, huh? CBA. CBA. So if I go with 1, 6, 9, 9, 6, 1. If we run it one more time, and if I go and enter 9, 1, and 6, it's still going to output 9, 6, 1. So we've got 3 possible solutions here. Okay? We got 3 possible solutions. There is a 4th one, which I'm not actually going to do. Right? That actually does not deal with the AND. What I'm trying to show you is how the AND operator actually works, the AND logical operator. Okay, now that was the larger of the 2 values. Okay, now let's close that. Let's come and look at this. This is also using, now there's 2 possible ways of actually doing this, right? But I'm going to show you one way. Reading a person's age, reading a person's age and determine an output whether that person is a teenager or not. Whether that person is a teenager or not. So, what is a teenager? A teenager, what is the age of a teenager, guys? A teenager is a person that is, whose age is from 13 to 19. So, what will my conditions be? If I am reading in the age must be greater than equal to 13 and less than equal to 19. So, right? And age must be less than equal to 19. Can you see that? There's the and. Both conditions must be satisfied. So, let's go and input. Age is assigned int input, enter the person's, persons, I hope that works. Age, I needed a quote over there, right? That's why I put double there, right? Enter a person's age, I'm hoping that works, right? Now, we need to check whether that person is a teenager. Now I'm going to use my message is assigned empty string if age is greater than equal to 13 and age is less than equal to 19, then message is assigned teenager. Now if the age, if I entered 6, is 6 greater than equal to 13? No. So it's not even going to come here. So we need an else part. Else, message is assigned not a teenager. And output print message. Okay. So both these conditions must be true for message to come here. So let's go and check whether it works. I'm going to enter 6 first. Right? 6, not a teenager. Okay. One more time. 21, not a teenager. And if I entered 14, teenager. Right? Now, here's the thing, guys. Once again, see this else statement here? I don't need it. I can take it out, and I'm going to assume that that person is not a teenager. The message will only change if they are a teenager. Right? This indent is wrong here, guys. It'll give me an error. Right? So let's go and try that again. Let's enter 12, not a teenager. 29, not a teenager. And 16, teenager. Right. Now, you'll notice, like I told you, it can be one of two things. We assume something before the if statement, and that message, that's why I'm using the same message variable. That message will only change if the conditions, both the conditions are true. If both the conditions are true. All right. Now, the other way of actually doing this, right? The other way of actually doing this is, let me just look for something here. Okay. Now remember, with the AND operator, both conditions must be true. With the AND operator, both conditions must be true. Yesterday, we looked at the AND, wasn't it? Right, AND. Now, AND means all conditions must be true. If one condition is false, the whole thing becomes false. Then we have the other logical operator, which is called the OR. With the OR operator, as long you can have 10 conditions, 9 conditions could be false. If one condition is true, the whole thing becomes true. So, as long as one condition is true, the entire thing is true. It will only be false if all the conditions are false. So let's look at this. Is 5, we're evaluating this, guys. Is 5 greater than 3? That's true. Is 5 greater than 9? That's false. So 5 is greater than 3, that's true. 5 greater than 9, that's false. But it's an OR. So as long as one is true, the whole thing becomes true. Do you follow? Now let's look at this one. Is 5 greater than 3? Sorry, is 5 less than 3? No, that's false. Is 5 greater than 9? It's false. Now, since all are false, all the conditions evaluate as false, the whole thing becomes false. So with your OR statement, with your OR operator, as long as one condition is true, the whole thing becomes true. If both conditions are false, then the entire thing becomes false. So I was looking at, where were we? Here we go. Now, I want you to look at this here. I'll make that a comment just to show you. If you look at this, both conditions must be true for it to come here. Now watch this. Right? I'm going to say message is assigned, and I'm going to assume this person is not a teenager. I'm going to use the OR statement. Now, when will this person be a teenager? If they are either no, sorry, my mistake. I'm going to assume this person is a teenager. When will they become not be a teenager? If age is less than 13, look at the opposite of greater than equal to is less than, or age is greater than 19. So if the age is either less than 13 or the age is greater than 19, that means that person is not a teenager. Now, if you look at those two segments, they're the opposite of each other. The and or are opposite of each other. Right. So let's go and run this and see if we get the same output as before. Okay. So if I could enter 11, not a teenager. If I could enter 21, not a teenager. Oh. And if I could enter 18, a teenager. So what you guys need to understand is this over here. Like I said yesterday, there are many, many ways of actually writing or answering the same question, and the solutions will be correct. So with the AND operator, all conditions must be true for it to come here. With the OR operator, as long as one condition is true, the whole thing becomes true. Okay. Right. Moving on. Now, we were looking at the OR, right? Now, we also looked at the AND. Let's go and look at vote or not. A person is only eligible to vote if they are 18 years or older, right? This is, now the question is this over here, how many conditions must be true? Now, I'm mixing it up, guys, so you need to understand, am I going to use an AND or an or actually just have one condition? So a person is only eligible to vote if they are 18 years or older. So what's my condition? The age must be 18 years or older. Mathematically, what does that mean? It means equal to 18 or greater than 18. Okay? Equal to 18 or greater than 18. Now, obviously, we have a condition that says greater than equal to, yes or no? And that is an or statement over there as well. So let's go and look at this. We're going to input the age. Age is assigned int input enter age, and then our processing message is assigned an empty string. Now, when will this person be eligible to vote? If age is greater than equal to 18. Okay, either greater than or equal to 18. So they could be 18 years old, or they could be 21 years old, or they could be 25 years old. They will be eligible. So message is assigned eligible to vote. Now, if the age is less than 18, then we need an else. And the else would basically say message is assigned not eligible or ineligible to vote, right? And then obviously we need our output, and that's going to be print message. All right. So we're inputting the age, message is assigned an empty string. If the age is 18 or more, then message will become eligible to vote, and it will never come here. When will it come to the else part? It will come to the else part if this condition is false. So Okay, I'm going to enter 16, not eligible to vote. We'll enter 18, eligible to vote, and I'm going to enter 21, eligible to vote. And guys, once again, do I need the else statement? Do I need the else statement? No, we actually don't, because I'm going to assume that the person is not eligible to vote. We take this out. It will only become eligible to vote if the condition is true. So if we run this, right, I entered 16 first, not eligible to vote. I entered 18 next, that's eligible, and just going to enter 30, eligible. All right, so I hope you guys have got this concept of using an else and not using an else. Like I told you, if the condition is either going to be this or that, then we can assume one thing and only change it if a particular condition is true. So okay, similar to the previous program, guys. Read the question, right? Reading a learner's math mark and determine an output whether that learner passed or failed. I'm going to read in the mark first. Mark is assigned int, input, enter math mark, right? Then we have our processing, and instead of using an else, now remember the person either passes or fails. I'm going to assume that that person failed. When will that person pass? What's my condition? What is the pass mark? It's 50. So if you get 50 or more, that means if mark is greater than equal to 50, then message is assigned you passed. Follow that, guys. So when will the message change? If the mark is 50 or more. And then we obviously have our output, and that would be print message. Okay, I'm going to show you a different way of doing this immediately after this, right? Okay, I'm going to enter 35. You failed. I'm going to enter 51. You passed. Get it? Now, what is the other way of doing this, guys? Let's go make this a comment, right? In multi-line comment. Remember that? That was last week. Now, I'm going to assume that the person passed. When will they fail? I'm just showing you the opposite of the conditions, right? When will they fail? They will fail if the mark, what's the opposite of greater than equal to? Let me just show you this very quickly, right? We have less than, we have equal to, and we have greater than, if you look at it like that. Okay? Now, greater than, if we have less than equal to, it's the same thing as saying not greater than. If we say not less than equal to, it means greater than. It's the opposite. So it's basically blocking these things out, right? So in other words, you have three symbols: less than, equal to, greater than. If it's not less than, then it means it'll be greater than or equal to. If it's not greater than, less than, equal to, right? If it is Not less than, it is greater than equal to. So what's not greater than equal to? The opposite of the opposite of greater than equal to? It basically means if mark is less than 50, then message is assigned failed. So there's the opposite way of actually doing it. And obviously we're going to be displaying that, and let's go and run it and check. Okay. Oh, what did I do wrong? Oh, damn it. Sorry about that. Now, okay. Right. If I go and enter 51, no. If I go and enter 35 like I did before, failed. Right? If I go and enter 60, you passed. You get the idea, guys? So, whichever way you look at it with regards to conditions, etc., there's more than one way of actually doing it. And you need to understand that both answers are correct. Okay? Now, let us go and look at something a little bit more involved, because these were pretty simple examples. Okay. There we go. Oh, let's not try that one. Let's go and look at triangle type. Let's look at this. Okay. Read in the length of three sides of a triangle and determine an output whether the triangle is scalene, equilateral, or isosceles. And we can check any one. Okay, what did I do here? Okay, let me just go and put this in. Isosceles triangle. Only two sides are equal. So a scalene triangle, none of the sides are equal. Okay, in a scalene triangle, none of the sides are equal. All three sides are different lengths. In an equilateral triangle, all sides are equal. Okay, and in an isosceles triangle, only two sides are equal. Get it? So, how are we going to do this? What will our conditions actually be? So the first thing I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to actually check the equilateral, because that's easy. Right? So I'm going to read in three sides. Let's call it A, B, and C, right? Okay. Input. A is assigned int. Input. Enter. Side. Oh, wow. Side. Right. Then B is assigned int. Input. Enter length of second side. I'm missing a bracket here. And C is assigned int input enter length of third side. So those are my three sides, guys. Now, what do we do? I'm going to check, and that is why we did the three. Remember the three numbers we did, where we were checking the three numbers, right? A, B, and C again. Now, if A is equal to B and B is equal to C, that means it's equilateral. Okay? Now we're going to do this a little differently. So if A is equal to B and B is equal to C. Oh, forgot about that, guys. Message is assigned empty string. Okay, if A is equal to B and B is equal to C, then message is assigned equilateral triangle, all sides are equal. Okay, now if A is not equal to B or B is not equal to C, so that's the first condition, that's an equilateral triangle. Now, if this condition is false, then I need to check isosceles. So I'm going to come here and say else if, you ready for this, guys? Isosceles triangle, A is equal to B or, not and now, or B is equal to C or A is equal to C. Any of these two must be, any one of those conditions must be true. So else if A is equal to B or B is equal to C or A is equal to C. Now, all of this would be true if that is true, right? But it will only come here. That's why I'm using an else if. It will only come here if one of these are false. So if A is equal to B, that means two sides are equal, it's isosceles, or B is equal to C, or A is equal to C. Okay? Then message is assigned isosceles. Now, if this is false, it's going to come here. And if that is false, then if it's not equilateral, it's not isosceles, guys. If it's not equilateral and not isosceles, then it has to be scalene, which brings us to our else statement. Oh, sorry. Right? And we go with message is assigned scalene. And then our output and our message. Okay, do you guys follow the logic? If this condition is true, if all sides are equal, sorry about that, if all sides are equal, it means it's an equilateral, it will never come here. If this is false, and then if any one of these conditions is true, that's why we have an or, then it's isosceles and it will never come here. If this is false and that is false, then it's definitely going to come here, right? And you know what I'm going to do with that else statement just now, isn't that so? So let's go for it. What am I doing wrong here, guys? The comparison is equal. A single equal is an assignment statement. Okay, let's go. So I'm going to go and enter 777. All three sides are equal, equilateral. Okay. Now I'm going to do this quite a few times. Just to show you all possible. Oh, come on. Okay. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to go with 776 isosceles. Run it again. I'm going to go with 767 and it still says isosceles. Right? I'm trying all possible combinations for the isosceles. And then I'm going to go with 677 isosceles. Okay. And lastly, I'm going to go with 678 and it's scalene. All right. Can you see that, guys? And what am I going to do with this? The else, I'm going to go take it out from there, and I'm going to assume that it is scaly. Message will only change if either this condition is true or that condition is true. Let's take the else out completely, and let's go and run it. Okay, let's go with 6, 6, 6, equilateral. Let's go with 6, 5, 6, isosceles. And lastly, let's go with 3, 6, 9, and it'll be scaly. All right, so hope you guys followed that. Now, what I want you to do, all of you, I am actually putting up that there. Either take a screenshot of it now, right? You can actually use the snipping tool, you know that, right? If you need to use the snipping tool, guys, I want you to answer this because we're going to be doing this question tomorrow. To use a snipping tool, you can go to your search bar. You can go and type in snipping tool, click it. Okay. Can you see your snipping tool opens up here, guys? Go to new. Right, click on the new rectangular snip. Are you watching, guys? I hope all of you are following this. And you are going to click and drag, and it will capture that question for you. I hope all of you followed that. I'll do it again. And you can obviously save it. It's actually a picture, guys. Right? Go to search, snipping tool. Click the drop down for new, go to rectangular snip, it'll all gray out. Click above here, click and drag, and when you let go of the mouse, it captures it over there. And you can go to file and save as, and you can save it wherever. Okay, you can save it wherever. Do you follow? That's the first question. Did all of you get that? Okay, so for some weird reason. Okay, that was one question. This is the second question. Please snip that, because you're going to be answering. This is your homework, guys. Whether you're answering it on Python or you're answering it on paper, you will attempt it today so that tomorrow when we are answering this, you have a good idea if you made a mistake, where you went wrong. If you get it right, well done. Okay? And lastly, this is your third question. Read in the lengths of the three sides of a triangle and determine an output whether it is a valid triangle or not. And in any valid triangle, the sum of the two shorter sides is greater than the longest side. So what you need to do over here, guys, is firstly find out which one is the longer side. You know, we were finding out, writing it out in descending order. Remember the program we did right at the beginning? A, B, C, B, C, A. Find out which one is the highest, add the other two. And if the other two are greater than the highest, then it's a valid triangle. Right? And for those of you who want to try this, there. No, I gave you that. This one. A, O. Triangle type, we did that. Okay, so we will meet again tomorrow. Please, guys, you will attempt this. Please attempt it, because only by trying it yourself will you understand what you do know about programming so far and what you don't know, right? Look at it as a challenge. So please, right? And tomorrow, I will actually upload quite a few questions to Google Drive, and you guys email me and I'll give you the link. I can put the link over here, right? In fact, I'll put the link up as well. You can snip it tomorrow as well. Problem is that you're going to have to actually go type that link out, right? So it's a hell of a lot easier for you to just email me so I can mail the link to you. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good afternoon, and we will meet tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Bye-bye.